So I always get a little bit nervous when we release the first episode, the pilot episode of a new video series, because you never know how it's going to be received. Are people going to enjoy it? Are people going to interact with it, engage with it? Are people even going to watch it? Especially, it's been, the last contest prep series I did was 2017, was Raw Cut. So it's been over 2 years. Let's dive in, let's have a look. Wow, over 6,000 views in less than a week. That's exceptional. That's not only does that show me that a bunch of you guys are interested, but you guys are watching this new series, which is good. It's a little bit of a relief, but some great stats right from the start, and a bunch of comments on this video as well. Dan Beitzel, Dan, I'm just going to call you Dan. I absolutely love this. I've watched all of your pro prep vlogs from the past and was highly anticipating this one. Kyle Feston, welcome back, Joe. I'm doing a prep as well, but taking it very slow. This is great motivation, love it. Alex Verassi, this is going to be epic. Blue Collar Wallets, this guy opening up like a presidential address. I guess that's the effect of the new studio that we've got here. NGU Fitness Motivation, that's what I'm talking about, man. There's so many comments here of just like positive feedback. This is amazing, guys. Thank you so much. It's awesome to see that you guys are engaged with the series, enjoying the new format and the upscaling production on this series as well. Let me dig a little bit deeper, because I know there's going to be some questions in here that I asked you guys to ask questions. If there's anything that you want me to talk a little bit more in detail about, if there's any questions that you have that I can, provide some more information about and help you guys out. So let me dig a little bit deeper in here. Rock Solid Coaching, great video, bro. Is this your go-to fat burner stack, or will you change once you get closer to stage? That's a great question. And in short, yeah, I will change as I progress down down this prep and get closer to the stage and get deeper into this prep. I want to answer this question and show you guys exactly what's up. So let's take a walk. So you guys are already familiar with the supplements that are part of my supplement stack in there specifically to assist fat loss. Just as a refresher, it is of course Core Shred, which I'm taking before my cardio every day, and Creation Alka Pure, which is part of my pre-workout stack that I take before I train. Those are gonna stay in the entire prep, but there are gonna be some additions added to them as I get deeper into the prep. The first addition is gonna be Core Burn. By the time I'm ready to add it, it's probably gonna be the new Core Burn X that I'm gonna stack with Core Shred before all of my cardio sessions. Keep in mind, most of my cardio sessions now are quite late at night, so I'm probably not gonna use a full serve of Burn because I'm gonna get too many stimulants. So I wanna find that sweet spot where I'm able to take advantage of the complete ingredient profile, but not get so many stimulants late at night that it starts to affect my sleep. That's the whole reason why I flipped my daily routine around: train in the morning, do cardio at night. But that will make its way in at some point during the prep. The other supplement that will make its way in is CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. You guys, if you've watched one of my prep video series in the past, you know I'm a huge fan of CLA. It is actually a dietary fat source, so it's a saturated fat, which means not only is it gonna make its way into my plan as a supplement, but it's actually gonna be part of my diet as I progress and I get closer to the show. I usually bring CLA in, usually around the 6 weeks out mark, but give or take, we'll see how we go. On to the next question. Charlie McMahon, hey Joe, huge fan mate, can't wait to see you smash it at the Arnold. Thank you, Charlie, I appreciate that, man. Quick question, why do you choose bagels for your carb source pre and post workout as opposed to more traditional bro and complex carb sources? Another great question. Let's head into the kitchen for this one. All right, so let's talk a little bit about complex carbs and why I personally choose to incorporate bagels as my pre and post workout source of carbs. But before we do, you guys will notice on this side of the table over here, this is tradition here at MJHQ. Every Friday, we have Friday Schnacks is what we call them, traditional Friday snacks. I supply some snacks for everyone who works here at MJHQ. That's still continuing regardless of me being in prep. Obviously I can't participate in the eating of the snacks, but I still provide the snacks for all the staff members that work here. Anyway, on to the question about complex carb sources. So your traditional complex carb sources, your bro carb sources are things like potatoes, which you guys know I am incorporating in my diet at the moment. I have those with my last meal of the day. Basmati rice, jasmine rice, brown rice, quick oats, which I do also use in the granola that I have with my pre and post workout meal. And then you've got what I'm using pre and post workout as my primary source of carbs at the moment, which is bagels. The reason is, guys, I tend to mix my carb sources up as I progress through a prep. What I generally find is that certain carb sources, my body kind of gets a little bit sick of them and they start to upset my digestive system. So when you look at bagels, for example, the actual source of carbs in bagels is wheat. In oats, obviously it's oats, rice is rice, potato is potato. But at the moment, wheat is sitting quite good in my gut. It's not upsetting my stomach. I'm able to get it in pre-workout, post-workout. It's a relatively quickly absorbing carbohydrate source, and it's just working for me at this point in time. What's probably gonna happen is my body's gonna get a little bit sick of wheat as a carb source. It's gonna start to upset my gastrointestinal system. I'm gonna get a little bit of discomfort, and then I'm gonna move. So I'm gonna mix it up. I might go to more oats. I might go to rice pre and post workout. I might go to potato pre and post workout. As I progress through a prep, I tend to mix and match my carb sources. On to the next question. Nick Hanna 6, how does your diet change on rest days? Awesome question, Nick, and I actually didn't address this in the first episode, so I'm happy that you asked it. So my macros that you guys saw in episode 1 and how they were broken down into my meals, 3,200 calories approximately, 275 grams of protein, 340 grams of carbs, and 85 grams of fat. So on rest day, I tend to drop about 500 calories out, primarily from carbohydrates, which are the carbs around my pre, intra, and post-workout meal, and I lose a little bit of fats when I drop those carbs out as well. So my caloric intake drops down to approximately 2,700 calories on rest days. My protein stays almost exactly the same, so 275 grams of protein. My carbs come down about 110 grams, so 230 grams of carbs, and obviously those are, as I mentioned, from pre, intra, and post-workout carb sources because I'm not working out. And then my fats come down a little bit as well, from 85 grams down to 75 grams for a complete caloric drop of about 500 calories. Interesting, one of the things that I do track with my Apple Watch is my workouts and the amount of calories that I burn during my workouts. I know it's rough, it's not an exact science, but most of my workouts I will burn over 500 calories. So for most workouts, it's between 500 and 700 calories. My leg workouts, which is usually my Sunday workouts, I tend to burn around about 1,000 calories. So just as a kind of reference point, and I'm not dropping this exact number of calories out because it's not an exact science, but on rest days I consume 500 calories less, and those 500 calories less are being pulled from a combination of carbohydrates and fats around my pre and post workout meals. Jonathan Freelove, big fan of the channel and the value you guys bring. Look forward to your journey to the stage. Thank you, Jonathan, brother. As well as cardio, are you tracking a step count? Interesting question. There's actually a couple of questions that have been posted about step count and what I'm doing in terms of tracking activity, so on and so forth. I think to answer this question, let's go outside. So you guys have probably noticed that I wear an Apple Watch. I use it to track a whole bunch of things. I use it to track my cardio, I use it to track my workouts and my caloric output in both. I use it in particular to track my sleep as well. I've got an awesome app that tracks sleep and makes sure I'm sleeping enough and getting enough rest and recovery. The one thing that it does automatically is track step count. I'm not really too fussed with step count, and let me tell you guys why. Step count is not a great measure of caloric output because it doesn't take into account the intensity that you are under or the stress that you're under when you're doing your steps. So you could be doing high intensity interval training and do 1,000 steps, for example, or low intensity steady state cardio and do 1,000 steps. Your step count's gonna be 1,000 steps, but your caloric output is gonna be significantly different because you're performing the steps at a completely different intensity. So I'm not really too fussed by step count. Obviously it gets tracked all the time while I'm wearing my Apple Watch, and I do have access to that data. We'll throw it up on screen in a second, and you can kind of see on days that I do cardio, I do more steps. On days that I don't do cardio, I do less steps. I'm not too fussed by it. What I am fussed by is tracking the amount of cardio that I'm doing at a particular point in the prep and what intensity that cardio is at. So at this point of the prep, it's 5 times a week, 45 minutes, low intensity, steady state. On to the next question. Reese Thomas, glad to see you competing again, big fella. Question, as you've always trained late, as you pointed out, I would also like to switch to morning training. How was your transition to mornings with regards to energy levels and feelings of being bloated from eating before you train early in the morning? As I'm also in the same boat as you were with loading too many stims, stay massive. Reese, this is a great question, man, and there's a bunch of questions like this in the comments of this video as well. In terms of how long it took me, let me just get that straight out the way. Energy levels was about 4 weeks, and the feeling of being bloated and just getting to a point where I was hungry first thing in the morning and being able to digest a lot of food first thing in the morning was about 2 weeks. The fact of the matter is, man, when you're going from being in the routine of training late at night, so, you know, doing your highest intensity of all high intensity exercises in the weight room at night, and also consuming a big percentage of your calories around that workout, which is also late at night, later on in the day, it's gonna be completely foreign to your body, your routine, your habits, your digestive system, your circadian rhythm. It's going to be completely foreign to every aspect of your body when you go and flip that on its head at the beginning. So your energy levels are going to suck, to be completely straight up. They're going to be shit, and it's going to take about 4 weeks to get into the routine of hitting that high intensity exercise first thing in the morning. And you are going to experience bloating. You're not going to want to feel like eating first thing in the morning because that's what your body's used to. And that, for me personally, took about 2 weeks to get into that routine. My one piece of advice is, if you are looking at switching, know that it is going to take that period of time. Know that it is going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to want to feel like training first thing in the morning. You're not going to want to feel like eating first thing in the morning because that's what your body's used to. But stick to the plan if it's important to you and it's, you know what it is that you need to do to be able to level up, just like I did. Stick to it, and within about a month, you're going to be firing on all cylinders. Let's get to the next question. Colin UK, what's your current and goal weight, Joe? I think to answer this question, we're gonna have to go find ourselves some scales. Let's go. Out into the warehouse here at MassiveJoes headquarters, guys. Say what's up to Warehouse 2IC John, Warehouse Manager Alex. What's happening, fellas? Step right up, see where we're at. Almost bang on 108. Bang on 108 kilos. So still the morning here, we're just under 9 weeks out now. So generally I tend to lose on average about, and this is serious rule of thumb, right? So don't take this as gospel, guys. On average about half a kilo a week in a prep, especially kind of towards the pointy end of the prep where we are right now. So I've still probably got 4.5 kilos to lose, which is gonna put my stage weight, you know, as a range somewhere between, let's say, 102 and 104, 105 kilos, somewhere around there. Last time I competed, for reference, which was the end of 2017, my stage weight was approximately 95 kilos. So we're looking at some pretty serious gains in lean mass from when I won my pro card in 2017 to making my pro debut here in 2020. But keep in mind that while I was coming through the amateur ranks and leading up to winning my pro card, I competed back to back for 5 consecutive years. So when I won my pro card up until now is the biggest single period of off season that I've had for 7-8 years. So I've used it well, and it's going to show in terms of my stage weight. Guys, thank you so much for the overwhelming amount of positive feedback in the comments on episode 1 of Pro Prep, and the questions that I went through. Awesome questions. There's a bunch that I didn't get to, but I hope that the ones that I did get to in this episode 3 have been valuable to you guys. And guys, that's a wrap for episode 3 of Pro Prep. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with everything going on. Turn your post notifications on both on your mobile, your cell phone, and your desktop PC so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel, including all the new episodes of Pro Prep. And as always, if you have any questions about anything I've addressed in this episode, post them in a comment here on YouTube, on this YouTube video, and I will personally get back to each and every comment in the comments. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.
Thank you for tuning into this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.